Book 1. A Life of 100 Battles. Rammaya slipped into her little shelter as the sun surrendered to the darkness of night, painting the walls of her cramped room in shades of muted gray. The street had been a hive of whispers and murmurs after the incident. Later, a group of smartly dressed men and women had arrived and urged the vendors to unite, to defend their right to protest should the minister and mayor follow through with the threat of eviction. Though hesitant at first, the street vendors had listened, nodding along with a fragile resolve. Inside her shelter, Rammaya tucked her worn-out basket into the corner. She sank onto her frail bed, the thin mattress sagging under her weight, with a creak that echoed like a groan of protest. Her gaze fell across the room to the battered wooden shelf where her soot-blackened kerosene stove rested, its rusting edges catching the dim light. "Should have bought some vegetables," she muttered, her voice barely louder than the whisper of the evening breeze sneaking through the cracks in the walls. Her eyes drifted to the corner where 3 small, dirt-flecked potatoes sat like forgotten relics of her hard day's work. Hunger clawed at her stomach, but the thought of cooking felt heavier than her weariness. She opted instead for the bruised fruits from her unsold wares. It wasn't the hollow ache of hunger that weighed on her most. It was the uncertainty. In her 70s, Rammaya had grown used to hardship, her tiny room and frugal meals an almost welcome reprieve compared to what she had endured before. For a few months, things had been manageable, even slightly better. But now, the future loomed like a dark cloud, its shadow threatening to undo the fragile balance she had managed to create. Pulling a gleaming volume from beneath her pillow, Rammaya gazed at the photograph on the cover, her son's face, jubilant, staring back at her. She flipped through the pages, the jumble of letters, as indecipherable as ever. Her calloused fingers lingered on the paper, and she sighed. "If only we could read," she whispered, a wistful longing flickering in her voice. The book became a mirror, reflecting back the winding path of her life. Images flashed in her mind, the dusty roads of her childhood, the weight of firewood on her back as a young girl, a stolen childhood with no joy, only the distant beauty of snow-capped mountains and a clear blue sky. Her husband's face, lined with the marks of time and toil, hovered in her memory. She had made it this far, further than she had ever imagined. Alone now, she carried the legacy of resilience, a testament to the strength born of necessity. Outside, the city murmured in restless anticipation. The faint clatter of a vendor packing up his cart reached her ears, followed by a child's laughter, sharp and fleeting in the night. Rammaya stared at the ceiling, the shadows shifting like stories waiting to be told. Somewhere deep within, she knew that her journey wasn't over. Not yet.